Hey guys, what's going on here? Scals, joined by the fellas. We got Shadow. What's going on, Shadow?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Off the Top here tonight. We're doing a review on Crown Jewel. I am joined by Prince, Cam, and Nate.
I'm here as well,
We,
just not on camera tonight.
it's very odd not to have a man on camera for once.
Right.
But before we get started on our reviews of Crown Jewel, I just want to say, if you enjoy wrestling and you are a critic of it like most of us are, which is fair, can we stop using the word botched? The word botched has no place in the wrestling community at this point. I am tired of hearing, oh, that was a botch fest. That was a botch fest. It's live TV. They make mistakes. They're human. Can we just leave it be at that now? Like, I am absolutely tired of it. If you watch professional sport, and we'll go basketball, someone alley-oops a ball and the other person misses it, is that a botch? No, that's a mistake. Or a miss. We need to stop this bullshit. We need to be better and use terminology properly. Anyways, I'm done with that little rant. Let's get into the show, guys. So, how did you guys think the event in Saudi was this year compared to any other year? Let's go, Prince, to start off here.
So this is my first Crown Jewel pay-per-view. So I am in the process of going back to last year's Crown Jewel to watch that. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm not fully into that show, I on the AJ Styles match. So right now, that pay-per-view so far has been decent. The best match so far is Rollins and Edge. But for this pay-per-view right here, I enjoyed this pay-per-view so much that as of right now, until I finish 2021, I'm giving this a rating of 7.
Okay.
I thought it was really great. The matches, time-wise, was timed perfectly. The main event, even better amount of time. And this show completely was fantastic.
All right, thank you. Cam, how about you?
Well, this time I came prepared. You know, I got notes on every match that happened at Crown Jewel. I have horrible memory, but I wrote everything down just so I wouldn't forget and have a rating of everything that happened. But I would say this was easily the best Crown Jewel show we got. I mean, I was sitting there watching it and I'm like, this is literally like Saudi Arabia's like WrestleMania, essentially. Like it was a fantastic show. So 10 out of 10 for me. Absolutely phenomenal.
Fair. Nate, how about you?
So I'm with Cam in that this was easily the best Saudi show that they've had. You can scratch the card, top to bottom, dig through it, and there was not a bad match on the card. Every match was executed very, very strongly. Even Braun and Omos pleasantly surprised me. I will say that also. It was probably one of the top 3 or 4 pay-per-views we've seen this year. Every match felt like it mattered. And I mean, there was some questionable booking, yeah, but we can get into that later. I give this a solid B+, like 8.5 out of 10.
All right, how about you, Matt?
So, overall, this was the best Saudi show, and that is an improvement from the one that they had earlier this year, because that was the best up until this point. So the shows just keep getting better and better every time they come out. Card, solid, top to bottom. Was pleasantly surprised, like Nate said, with their Braun Omos match. I also thought there were some questionable booking decisions, so me and Nate are actually right on point with a lot of what he's saying. So,
all right, for me. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Nope, I'm done.
For me, I thought it was by far the best we've ever seen there. Because to be fair, and I'm sure a lot of people in the wrestling community will agree, this just typically was, oh, throw it away. Nobody cared. Like, we didn't care. Like, there was no reason to be there. There was no this or that. But this booking, to me, up and down the card was just great. Some questionable decisions, but we'll get into that as the show goes on here. But overall, for me, I'm giving it a 9. So with that said, let's get into. We're gonna go in order of the matches. We'll start off with Matt, then go Nate, Cam, Prince, myself. Let's go Lashley, Brock. Thoughts?
Okay, before I start, thank you, Hustler, for the sub. Appreciate it. So, I actually was impressed in this match. I like how they gave Lashley all of the offense. Like, it started off before the match started. He took Brock's knee out, and I like how they focused on Lashley just beating him down, and then Brock using something he normally doesn't do, just something quick, easy, and surprised Lashley. Overall, I'm going to give this match 3.5 out of 5.
Wow. Okay. Nate.
So I'm kind of on the same level there. So I like that they took a little bit of a different approach to it. Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar are two guys who, in real life, would probably put on a hell of a fight. It's meat slapping, is what it is. It was a great meat slapping fest, you know, one of the best kinds of matches. Big E was probably smiling at home watching this match. That being said, Brock Lesnar is a criminally underrated seller. He managed to do an F5 putting all of his weight on one leg. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Oh,
He was not sitting on that leg.
absolutely.
Absolutely phenomenal seller, Brock Lesnar always has been. So,
When he wants to be.
right. And I feel like when Brock is motivated, and I think Brock's been more motivated the last 2 years than he has his entire career. I think that's obvious.
Correct.
When he's more motivated, he is so much more fun to watch, and he will put on a good match with anybody that he gets in the ring with. That being said, Brock and Bobby put on a show. Great way to start. I'd say it's a 3.5 also.
All right. Cam.
So yeah, I definitely agree with Matt and Nate. I thought this was a pretty good match, and I'm honestly glad that it didn't go like a typical Brock match where it's like suplex, then F5, kick out, suplex, just repetitive move spamming or whatever that we typically see from Brock or whatever. It actually, there was actually variety in this match or whatever. So, and yeah, of course, Brock he's obviously, they're both warriors, obviously. For Brock to hit an F5 off one leg was absolutely amazing.
Right.
So the only thing I have a problem with this match, I think, is just the ending. I definitely didn't see that coming. I definitely didn't see it ending that way. But I get why it ended the way it ended, because of course they're probably going to have a third match, obviously, probably at Survivor Series, I'm assuming. So I would say this is I would give it a 3. I would give it a 3 out of 10.
All right. Prince.
So for Lashley, he did a great job in this match. Seeing how he handled Brock, seeing how Brock handled it, I felt like Brock did a solid job. They both did. I felt like I'm glad with the outcome. I just felt like the match felt a little too short. I mean, it was great for what it was. It was. I just thought it would have been. I'm gonna nitpick real quick. I thought it would have been a lot longer. It felt like it didn't last as long as it should have.
Right.
But solid match. Bobby did a bang up job. Seeing how Brock handled that right out the gate. I mean, Jesus Christ, friggin' amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll agree with Cam and Nate on the rating.
Okay. Me personally, I thought Brock made Bobby look phenomenal. Like, I don't think Bobby needed it, because Bobby's just Bobby. Like, he's a phenomenal worker. But Brock, considering what we all know of Brock over the last 10 years at this point, he's not much to allow wrestlers to really work him, if you will. He wants to be the one to work over them. And for for Brock to let you do that, it's a huge compliment to you as a superstar, in my opinion. But Bobby, I feel, has earned a lot of Lesnar's respect across all boards, considering they both MMA, both college athletes. Bobby being a veteran, I believe he is a veteran, right? Am I wrong there?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, he is.
Thank you. So, to me, the match was good. The match itself, I give a 3.5, 4. The ending, I didn't quite understand, so that brings it down to a solid 3 for me. Just because I feel like the ending was weird.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Good,
I
Cam.
felt like Bobby had that.
Oh.
It really did.
Right, but like Cam had said, it sets up for the third match now as a rubber match, which is needed.
right.
So hopefully we get that at War Games, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to War Games.
Right.
See,
Alright,
I like the
so-
ending because it
good.
was different. It was something we don't see in matches between two big men like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
The match only went
All
6
right.
minutes, so it was good for what it was. I thought it actually went longer than that. I just had to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
That was a 6. Wow, okay, it felt longer than that, but hey, that's good. That's how you want it to
Right.
feel.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was longer than that.
So now we're gonna go reverse order here. Now, we're going with the women's tag. Me personally, super confused on why they had them lose Monday. Then, I thought it set up something different that we'll talk about later in the card here. But the match itself was, in my opinion, really well done. There wasn't too many mistakes that I could catch. Just before there, Bray Wyatt alluding to Alexa Bliss was interesting. So overall, like they competed well. Like it seemed motionless. Nikki Cross getting involved was a little for me, but I'm gonna give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. Prince.
So, I felt Alexa Bliss. Alright, so all the competitors did really great, but I felt Alexa Bliss did that type of job where it was even better than all of them combined. Honestly, I felt Alexa did properly. That match was great, but like you said, friggin' Damage Control dropping the titles just to pick it back up was pointless. And just like you said, it's something else that I thought was going to be set up for later, which, yeah. But the match was really great. I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay. Cam.
Oh man, are you kidding? Like this was an awesome match. I didn't expect this out of these 4 women for sure. For a match that I kind of figured wouldn't really be any different from Raw or any other time they've wrestled so far for the tag titles. It was amazing. This match was awesome. And can we talk about Asuka and Alexa? I mean, I don't know when they became a cohesive unit, but they worked well together. They were hitting tag team moves all over the place. I thought that was amazing. And of course, Alexa Bliss. I got to talk about Alexa Bliss. This is the first time in I think a while that I've seen Alexa look so good. She hit that tornado DDT out of the corner. She hit another like swinging momentum DDT later in the match. Whatever. She looked amazing. She looked awesome. As far as Nikki Cross getting involved, I'm the opposite of Shadow. I thought that was amazing because it's playing into another story because, you know, her and Alexa used to be friends or whatever, so that's probably setting up a side feud for Alexa away from Asuka with the feud with Nikki Cross. But yeah, this match was amazing. The ending, however, I saw it coming because, I don't know, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for Asuka and Alexa Bliss to win the match on Raw and then to have the whole visual of the fireworks going off, you know, the big send-off or whatever, just for them to lose the titles again a few days later at the pay-per-view. I don't understand that. But other than that, man, I got to give this match 8.5. It was amazing. Absolutely.
All right. Nate.
So, this match was very surprising to me. I didn't think the title change on Monday was necessary whatsoever. I think Dakota and Io should have just held on to them. They didn't even have to have that match on Monday for this one to happen. That being said, we know Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Asuka. We know they're elite in-ring workers. They're world-renowned ring workers. Alexa Bliss has never been that one to bust out a 5-star match. You know what I mean? She's a person who is in total control of her character, cuts amazing promos, sells merch. You know, she was never like a Bret Hart type, or But in watching this match, I watched it twice. I watched it yesterday again. She was the star of this match. Alexa Bliss was the absolute star of this match. Those DDTs that she hit, credit to Dakota Kai for selling the shit out of them. And I think she hit Io Sky with one also. But she was the star of that match, and I think that Triple H is going to see that. I think she's going to end up with some kind of renewed push. I would love to see her in an extended feud with any of those members from Damage Control. I would love to see that. So that match was fantastic. I would say probably 4 out of 5 for me.
So, first off, Cam, I love what's on your TV. I keep looking at it because right now it has gold dust, and it just brought me back.
When you were in high school?
Yes, when I was in high school, during the best era of professional wrestling.
Just saying, Matt's old as shit.
In regards to this match, like Nate was saying, Alexa was the star, head and shoulders above the rest. In regards to what Scarlett is saying in the chat, they said they wanted to know why this match why they even had the title change here, and it's probably because of what Rose said, that they wanted to have at least one title change in Saudi.
All right.
My response to that was this was the wrong titles to be changed. And what they're doing with Nikki Cross going after Alexa, I think that's how Alexa's going to get back with Bray. Because the first time it happened, she was teaming with Nikki Cross.
Right.
And now all the little hints are happening again. Alexa's getting distracted again in the interview. I think Nikki's going to bring out the dark side of Alexa again. And I think that actually would lead to them being a tag team this time, though.
Right.
So, overall with this match, though, I thought they were actually going to keep the title, so I was surprised that it happened. But overall, I gave it a 4 out of 5.
All right, fair enough. So, coming back around this time, steel cage match. Thoughts?
I feel this probably was one of the worst matches on the card. If there really is a bad match. I just don't like the fact that Scarlett keeps getting involved with every match, and it's the same thing. The match at Extreme Rules, she pepper sprayed them. This time, she did it to Drew and the ref. I mean, I like the outcome of this match because that's what I thought was going to happen. Drew needed to win in order to keep this feud going on, to have one more match between the two. I like how it happened. It told a story that he just wasn't quick enough, and Drew was the smarter of the two. So I do like how that happened. But I'm going to give this match a 3.25 out of 5.
Okay. Nate?
I might be in the minority here who really enjoyed most of this match. The interference from Scarlett was pointless, and I think that's been way overdone already also, so I do agree with that. However, take her out of the equation, these two actually put on a really good match inside the cage. They used the cage to, the way you would expect someone to use the cage. That superplex spot was awesome. And the ending was actually pretty creative. I liked the way the match ended, where Drew McIntyre climbed out and Scarlett tried to get, Karrion to crawl across to her to pull him out. And I guess Karrion Kross is not good at pulling out. So I think they did a great job with that match. I would say because of the interference, it draws it back. The mace is. It didn't work first time. Didn't work this time. I would say probably a 3 out of 5 for that match.
All right, Mr. Notebook. Your thoughts?
Well, man, I honestly thought this match was amazing. I thought it was much better than their strap match they had at Extreme Rules. It definitely highlighted Karrion Kross's strengths. I think you have to have these matches with stipulations, these more violent kind of, barbaric kind of matches to really bring out his in-ring presence and his strengths there. So I just think Karrion Kross is just going to get better and better every time we see him in the ring. Obviously, I saw Drew winning this match for the rubber match, probably at War Games. So I thought it was great. As far as, I didn't really think too much about Scarlett getting involved. I'm not surprised she got involved. I mean, that's kind of her role with Karrion Kross at this point. But they definitely have to have a stipulation where she's not in the equation, where she can be, she's, I don't know, in a Shark Tank or something. I don't know. Lock her up and throw away the key so she can't get out.
Hold on. We're not just going to skim the fact that you just said throw her in a Shark Tank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Shark Cage, whatever.
She's a beautiful woman. You do not throw her in a Shark Tank, sir.
You know what I mean.
Stripper pole?
Whatever. Shark Cage, whatever.
Yeah.
You put her in a cage and has a stripper pole? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, yeah. So she's not a part of the equation, and it's just Karrion Kross and Drew. But yeah, I thought this match was great.
All right.
Typically, I rate these matches at a 10 when I do it on TikTok, but yeah, I gave this match a 7. So
So a 7 on the scale of 5 that we're using is about a
3.5.
3. Okay.
okay, all right.
I know we do it differently. It's just, I don't know, it's just the way we've always done it.
I'm still a newbie, so I don't.
Yeah.
That's
you're
okay.
good. Prince.
So I'm cool with the outcome. I picked Cross to win, but that's cool that Drew won. I'm happy with that either way. I'm giving this match 3. Like Cam said, the whole Scarlett being involved because that's her role. Not really that big of an issue with it. If they're gonna do another match, then make the stipulation where she gets involved, then Drew automatically wins or something like that. Please don't do a Shark Cage. Please
You mean
don't.
Shark Tank?
Shark Tank, Shark Cage, Shark Tank. Don't. Yeah,
I meant to say Shark Cage, obviously.
I know.
Still funny.
Absolutely.
That's fair. Me personally, I liked the match. It went back and forth, and it went well. I feel like some spots were super slow. Again, that plays into their style, though. I like the fact that we have a different element in Scarlett, but at the same time, you built Kross to be this monstrous. I'll say light heavyweight because I don't think he's a heavyweight. And you need his wife to constantly interfere. It kind of gets irritating a little bit. But I'm happy with the outcome. Like I think we all said on the predictions, Drew needed the match. Drew needed the win. But it's going to set up for something bigger. It's going to have to be a stipulation match now. It's going to revolve around Scarlett somewhere. Has to. I felt the ending fell flat, in my opinion. Like, yes, creative. It was great. But, like, it was anticlimactic in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
At least my opinion on it. Liked it, but I'm just going to give it a 3. I think that's a fair number to put it at. Okay, so the next match that we're going to go into is the Judgment Day versus the OC. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was a well-rounded 6-person tag match. I didn't like the whole Rhea look yesterday. I get what she was going for, and I get what the whole thing was. I don't know. I just don't like the whole look, I guess. But that match was just great. I thought the spots were great, timed well, made everybody look good. With the winner being, excuse me, Judgment Day, it was good. For me, I'm giving it a 4. Prince.
Give this match a 4.5. I loved the match itself. I thought OC and Judgment Day did a great job. And the reason why I get 4 is because Rhea Ripley was there. Rhea Ripley is.
Bobby, huh? Yeah, there it is.
I have to. I'm sorry. I have to. Rhea is Poppy. I have to acknowledge Poppy. Yeah, but
Yeah, buddy.
Don Don gets what he wants. Lucky bastard.
Alright, Cam.
Yeah, I like this match. It was nothing spectacular, I don't think. I think it might have been one of the weaker links on the card. Nothing spectacularly happened. It kind of like the steel cage match. I'm kind of tired of Rhea getting involved without the OC having a female answer to that. That's just kind of annoying. So the Judgment Day winning, I believe I picked the Judgment Day winning on predictions, which is so yeah. Them winning is not surprising, honestly. I will have to point out though, I don't know if Dominic got a single move of offense in. I mean, he was just getting hit with the kitchen sink, which I thought was hilarious. Like, he literally was getting thrown around left and right, so that was
I think that's good, though. I mean, in a sense, that would be him earning his dues,
due.
in my opinion.
Yeah, right. So, gotta earn him some kind of way, I guess. But as far as the overall match, I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
All right. Go on, Nate.
Yo, I thought this match was booked to perfection. The OC is a team that has built credibility and recognition across the world. The Judgment Day is this new faction that's still trying to find its footing, honestly. Like, they needed a statement victory like this. They got it. Everyone looked great. Carl Anderson is underrated.
Facts.
Dominic got thrown around like a rag doll, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think Dominic has been used absolutely perfectly since his heel turn. I would not change a thing about the way he's been booked since then. I think he's been great. He's been an excellent heel, and he hasn't had a microphone in his hand enough to annoy me. So, not really much I can complain about Dominic lately. I thought the match itself was phenomenal. No pun intended, I guess. Great booking from top to bottom. I liked the Rhea Ripley dig on Beth Phoenix. I think Beth Phoenix is ultimately going to be the one who steps in to help. Where Edge fits into that scenario, I don't know. Whether the Judgment Day recruits a new member or whether they just have Beth and Rhea go one-on-one, I don't know. But I think that's where
Or
we're headed.
sorry to cut you off, or maybe Beth just helps out the OC with the Rhea problem. We don't need an Edge in there.
I mean, yes and no. They did seem like they left some strings hanging there. So, like, does Edge need to keep feuding with Judgment Day? No.
If they wanna, I'm sorry to cut you off, but if they want to do the long haul, the long story, they could easily stretch this out till, I don't know, WrestleMania time and have Rhea versus Beth at WrestleMania. If they really wanted to go that route.
I wouldn't hate that idea. I don't know where Edge fits into it, because Beth Phoenix, if she's coming back with Edge after what happened. It just makes too much sense. So where that fits, because that leaves somebody as an odd man out, and I don't know who that would be.
Could be a Rumble.
Edge fit in by being beside Beth Phoenix during the match and have Dom be by the side of Rhea. I mean,
I think
that could be something, because they got that little issue that they had before.
right. I do think I want this feud to end with Edge being pinned by Finn Balor or Damian Priest.
I think what we're gonna see. I'm not trying to cut you off. I do apologize.
Oh, you're good.
I think what we see is a Rumble match. It's a mixed tag: Dom and Rhea versus Edge and Beth.
I don't hate that idea either.
And I hate to say it, but I think Edge eats the pin from Dom.
I
Yeah.
don't hate that either, actually.
Edge, I mean,
Edge is
Dom could
bulletproof.
use it. Dom could use it, right? So
I mean, Dom's already
and Edge
pinned
isn't afraid to take a
AJ.
loss.
And Edge is bulletproof. So, yeah, I would say 4 out of 5 for this match. But, yeah.
So, first things first. I love the fact that they, one, called Carl Anderson Machine Gun.
Mm-hmm.
Love
Oh,
the
yeah,
fact that they
that's
called Gallows Doc. Love that they mentioned Bullet Club. They said New Japan, never Openweight Championship, which means he didn't have to give up the belt for this event, which is a shock in itself, because New Japan just changed their rules for him and for WWE.
Right. But I think that was WWE smoothing over the double booking and doing the right thing and
I
offering them.
I
more dates.
understand that, but does that mean there's a possibility that things can happen in the future more with New Japan? Because to have all that happen at once is
I mean,
unbelievable.
I think WWE would do a much better job of educating its fan base on who New Japan is than AEW does.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
I will say that. AEW just expects you to know all these people.
And
WWE
for
would
some of the
educate
people, you would, but for some of these other people, you're not going to know who these people are. Like,
Exactly.
why is, I hate to get, I'm going off on a rant here, but why is Shibata wrestling in AEW when he can't get cleared in New Japan?
Right.
What does that tell you about? Okay,
That's not for another time.
right, but I'm just saying, like, that's like, you had on Twitter after the event was over, you had, I can't think of his name right now. Just went out of my mind. Will Ospreay comment on how great the event was, and it's like, you rarely see that from people in New Japan say anything
yeah.
about WWE. And I think it's
Right.
because of them bringing in Gallows and Anderson again, and I think that's
Right.
gonna lead to the relationship to where something else can happen.
Right.
Overall, in this match, going back, I'm gonna get back on track now. This match, to me, was a 3.75. I loved everything about this match. I loved the way they did things. I liked Rhea saying it was an homage to the late, great Beth Phoenix, insinuating that she's never coming back. I do like that little thing.
Right.
To me, I don't think Edge comes back and does this anymore. As much as they're teasing Beth Phoenix to be the person, I think this is where Tegan Nox fits in. If she's on her way back to WWE as reported, this is where she would fit in perfectly because of her history with Rhea. And
I
that's
don't hate that idea at all.
and that's how you can make this, because there's talk of doing the 5-on-5 for the War Games matches.
Thought that was confirmed.
Yeah, okay, sorry. They confirmed that it's 5-on-5. If you do 5-on-5, if you have Edge and Beth with that, who else is going to fit in for the Judgment Day? There's no other person that they're going to pull in for that. It's kind of weird.
Right.
So I think
But
this-
I think the direction they're going is going to be Bloodline versus somebody.
Right, which I think is going to be great.
Well, until we
But-
found out the injury
yeah,
that happened,
I was just
yesterday,
gonna
I had an idea.
We'll talk about the injury later. But overall, I think this match was what it was. I was happy that Judgment Day won, even though I felt that the OC did need to win more since they just came back.
Okay, before we go into the latter half of the show here, just want to touch up on some New Japan stuff that came to mind during that conversation. So there's potential that the Royal Rumble is going to be 40 people this year, both
Mhm.
men's and women's. Okay, You can bring in some New Japan guys. Again, would work great.
I also just read something that Nick Aldis's contract ends on January 1st.
Another thing too is you were saying Ospreay commented on Crown Jewel. I didn't see that. So
He absolutely did.
He tweeted about the main event and said it was a great show.
He,
I understand.
it seemed like he wanted to wrestle Paul. Honestly,
I completely understand that it's very. How do I say this? It's very obvious that the Elite are staying in AEW or Ring of Honor, whatever way this is going. But I think with Ospreay and a few New Japan guys looking at WWE the way they are right now, it's opening Kenny's and Matt and Nick's eyes, and with the way they presented Cody to the WWE universe again. So I don't say we need the Elite in WWE, but I think they're heavily maybe weighing their options now with contracts coming up.
I could probably see Kenny Omega being the one to go out of those three.
I'd love to see I'd love to see Omega and Rollins. Like I really want to see
I don't think
that.
the Young Bucks are completely out of the possibility of heading over there either. I mean, especially Gallows and Anderson are back, and if Gallows and Anderson, it seemed like they had burned it seemed like they were never going to come back.
And that's the connection between everything, right there. Those two.
And that difference is, if Gallows and Anderson can repair their relationship with WWE, why can't the Young Bucks forge a new one?
Right.
Like, everyone wants to work for Hunter now. Maybe not everyone, but WWE is that great
Place
matchup
to
for
go
pro
again.
and it's just, we thought it was going this way, and now it's going this way.
What were we saying,
What were you
Cam?
gonna say?
My only issue with the Elite possibly wanting to go to WWE is the fact that, and Nate, you're probably not gonna like this next statement, but like, it's the fact that the Young Bucks, they have an ego situation, and I just don't feel like Triple H is gonna play that game. You know what I mean? He's not gonna put up with that. That's why I don't see like CM Punk coming back, because like Triple H doesn't have a desire to want to work with CM Punk, to put up with his attitude and him. You know what I mean? I just don't see it working. I don't. You know, I would love to see
man.
out of the three of them, I'm with Matt. I would love to see Kenny come, for sure. I think that's long overdue. To see Kenny come down the ramp of WWE Raw or SmackDown or whatever, the roof would come off that place. Like it would be, oh man, it would be a WrestleMania moment.
Could you imagine if he was a surprise entrant in the Rumble?
He almost had a done deal to do that the same way AJ Styles did, but then Cody Rhodes was like, no, let's start a company.
Right.
They did that.
That would have been amazing.
But to bounce off that real quick before we get right back on track, sorry, but I think the Young Bucks have you worked over, Cam. They are playing characters completely, and they've worked everyone over. The Young Bucks completely revolutionized the way an indie wrestler markets themselves. And I think to bring that finesse and that marketability to a place like WWE, they'd become even bigger stars than they already are. And now that they have the talent in WWE that's building up a tag division again, the Usos are on the best run of their career. The New Day are always going to be mainstays until they retire. Excuse me. Gallows and Anderson, I think I just said that. You've got Judgment Day there now too, and you've got, I mean, the tag division.
Viking Raiders coming back.
Yeah.
So, I want to make one more point here before we finish up the latter half of the card. Let's say WWE keeps their working relationship with New Japan open on a clean basis. You have Ospreay come in, you have Omega come in, you have the Bucks come in, and then you already have Prince Devitt, aka Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Machine Gun, Doc. You could literally, as long as you keep this relationship with New Japan clean, you could literally have a Bullet Club in WWE for the first time ever.
Mm-hmm. And call them the Bullet Club.
Right.
Anyways, that was I love that conversation. It was a good sidebar.
Way off topic, but anyways.
No, but it's good. It was relevant to the event. So, all right. So, Omos Braun. Matt, kick us off.
So, I was pleasantly surprised with this match. They made Omos look the best he's ever looked in the wrestling ring. And I can't believe that it took Braun to do that. MVP was not there, which there's a
Personal
whole
reason.
well, there's a whole thing behind why he's not there, but they wrote him off the night before on SmackDown as if he was injured and he couldn't make it. Great. But they made Omos look like a freaking giant and a monster in that ring. And he was the first person to ever knock Braun down as he was doing the run around the ring. Braun had a hard time picking him up, but I do like that it only took one running power slam to beat him, because makes it look like the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Type thing, because he's a giant. So overall, I'm giving this match a 3.5. Nate, I think you're up.
Yeah. So I was pleasantly surprised with this match. Also, I had like dirt low expectations for it. So it's one of those things where you go into it with no expectations, you can't be disappointed, right? So that's what I was working off of. And yeah, they made Omos look a lot better than he has looked ever. And the thing you said with a guy like Braun Strowman does that. He steps up his game when he needs to. Like, he's very inconsistent, unfortunately, but if you remember, he got good matches out of the Big Show. He got good matches out of Mark Henry. He got good matches out of some people who had no business having good matches with Braun Strowman. And it was because I think he has a motivation issue. When he's motivated, he can get good matches out of people. So I feel like he really enjoyed working with Omos, and that's why we got to see a pleasantly surprising, decent match out of them. Now, it didn't light up the world for me. It was decent, so I'm gonna give it a 2.5. But that's not a knock on this match. There was just so much more good quality wrestling on this card that I couldn't justify giving it higher than a 2.5.
Okay. Cam.
I'm completely opposite. I thought this match was awful. It's pretty much what I expected. I mean, I'll be generous and I'll say this is the best that I've seen Omos look. But I think this is his ceiling. Honestly, I don't really see much more out of him. I don't think he can do much more. I think this is literally his limit. He's hitting his strides right now. Where does Omos go from here after losing this match to Braun Strowman? I have no idea. Maybe he goes back to just being some, bodyguard type role. I'm not sure. But I don't know. I give this match a 2 out of 5. It was honestly bathroom break material. Go get your cup refilled. Go get some new snacks. Go get some popcorn. It wasn't really all that. I think I was out of the room most of this match. It's just a match I just didn't really care for. But the one strength I can say is that they made Omos look the best he's ever looked. So.
All right, Prince. It's been a minute. Let's go.
I didn't really have too much to say for this match. I mean, I got what I expected out of it. It was decent. It was at least worth a 2.5. I think them having Omos lose after him doing as good as he did was kind of a little ridiculous, but it is what it is, I guess.
Right.
But, I mean, yeah, I really ain't got much to say about it.
What's your rating?
2.5. 2.5.
Okay. Y'all are wilding, man. Y'all missing the point here. That was a 5-star banger.
What? Leave.
All right. All right. Listen. Hold on. All right. Listen. It was 5 stars of absolute trash wrestling.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. See what I did there? I did not care for this match at all.
You need to sleep, bro.
I did not care for this match at all. Don't get me wrong, Omos looked amazing in what he did in that match. compared to what we've seen out of him. Let's be real.
Okay, that thanks for clarifying.
But I didn't care for it. I didn't like the ending. You have Omos control this match, but one offensive move from Strowman and the match is over. To me, I'm not even giving it a rating. It was that bad. Like, I didn't care.
Meat slapper.
So it's just a question mark.
It's a to be determined to see how this story evolves, but I'm not giving it a rating. Now we get into the banger, in my opinion, of the night, the men's tag team championship match.
Yes. Thank you.
The Usos and the Brawling Brutes. Holy shit! Did the Usos make the Brawling Brutes look like they were on their fucking level? Like, don't get me wrong, they're good. But they elevated the Brawling Brutes and gave them a household name after yesterday. And I really enjoyed it, top to bottom. I thought the spots were great. It's Ridge Holland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him hitting the white noise, that was fantastic to Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Dunne working. I'm not calling him Butch. I refuse that bullshit. Pete Dunne was just amazing. The Usos being the Usos, doing their thing. Some very heel tactics. They're going to try to walk away. I loved it all, top to bottom. Those two teams told a story. I'm here for it if they do another one. I'm giving it a 4.7. Prince.
I'm giving this a 5-star match. I enjoyed this fucking match to the fullest. The Usos, let me tell you, I am so glad they won. It was such an obvious win that Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles are sitting right there watching that same thing like, holy fucking shit. You see that shit? Like, holy shit, man. Like, yeah, I see that shit, man.
Prince.
No, Prince review. Don't get him started.
I love it.
Definitely a 5-star match for me. It was.
All right. Cam, I'm sure this is a long sheet here. Go on.
Oh man, I thought it was phenomenal. The Brawling Brutes, as when they first formed with Sheamus or whatever, I didn't really care for it or whatever. But every time I see these guys come out, and every time I see these guys in a tag team match, they improve every time.
It's
I'm
fight
actually,
night now.
it's fight night now, exactly. Brawling Brutes are, I mean, they have proven themselves to be a legit tag team. When Ridge Holland hit the white noise, just like the Shadow said earlier, my heart dropped because I literally thought that was going to be 3. Like, I was like, whoa. Like, so many near falls in this match. I don't think I've ever said that word.
Finishes were wild in that match.
Yeah, they were wild. Absolutely insane. I don't think I've ever said near falls in my life, but I've just said it just now. But yeah, so it was amazing. So I'm giving this match. Oh yeah, and then the other part I got to talk about was the finish was awesome too. They hit a 1D from the top rope, which was like mind blowing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm giving this a 5 out of 5. This was a perfect tag team match.
All right.
So it seems like we've got a really good general consensus here. A couple things I do want to point out. The Usos, and actually you can kind of say this for the entire Bloodline. The Bloodline, when they are in matches with people, you know they're going to win. You just know it. When it's time for them to drop their titles, I feel like we're going to know. So, like, we know they're going to win against the Brawling Brutes. We know this, but we still want to make it like, we still want that belief suspended for us, at least a little bit, where we're like, oh, they might pull this off. So, Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne, they're Triple H guys. Right?
Right.
Sheamus is probably the original Triple H guy.
Thanks.
So, like, when Triple H took over, I'm kind of like, these guys are going to get a push, I feel like. Because before, they were just kind of there. Now, they're a legitimate faction. When Michael Cole yells, it's fight night over commentary now, I'm excited. I'm like, let's fucking go. Let's do this. This is going to be a meat slapper. It's going to be brutal. And so the Usos, And like I said, Roman Reigns also, the Bloodline, they have this habit of making whoever they're going against look fantastic. Absolutely fan-fucking-tastic. Every time they get in the ring. The Usos are working on the best level they've ever operated on. And it really showed here because for a second we're like, oh, they might pull this off. Ridge Holland busts out the Shamo and does the white noise. We're like, oh, they might do this. Pete Dunne is definitely reverting. He's pretty much Pete Dunne now. All they have to do is change the name back. That's it. But thank God we got that back. That match was absolute fire from start to finish. The right team won, I do think. I'm also going to go out on a limb and say that the Usos in this current run they're on have solidified themselves as the best tag team in the history of WWE. I will die on that hill. I know
think they've proven
some
that.
people will disagree. Some people are going to shit on me for it. I disagree. They have outshined the New Day.
Right.
They have changed their characters multiple times.
Even if you take the faction part out of it, like the whole bloodline, they're still on the best run they've ever done. Like,
Absolutely. They can cut promos, and we know that at least, and I'm sure Jimmy can too, but we know that at least Jay can thrive as a main event competitor. So, like, I don't find any argument for any other tag team to be above them right now, or ever.
I don't think in history, we've seen a lot of good tag teams.
Right. And that's I don't think that's a stretch. I really don't. So I would say I can't give this match 5 stars because it didn't light me up the way Sheamus and Gunther did. However, it's just that much below it. So I'd say like a 4.9.
Okay. Matt?
So, there's not much more to say after everybody said everything about this match. I agree with what everybody was saying. My rating is a 4.75 for this match. I do want to add, though, that they had mentioned that Jay possibly has a broken wrist.
I think that's more of a storyline,
So-
isn't it?
We don't know. He's supposed to get an MRI done on it. What I would like to see happen, if it is made into a storyline, is they introduce the Freebird rule, and they make Sammy as the person to take Jay's spot.
No,
Hold on.
Horribly.
No, it has to be Sammy because that adds to the Sammy and Jay thing.
It does.
yeah. See, if you're doing it that way.
And then if they
That's
lose,
not good
if they end up losing it, that's the reason that Jay goes after Sammy because he's cost them the titles.
Hey, Matt, your mic just went from like
Yeah,
here
because I was excited. Get over it.
to here.
Go ahead, Prince.
I just want to say that we need ASAP Jay versus Sammy. I don't care when, but it does need to happen soon. Add some more story to that, but eventually Jay and Sammy needs to happen.
Yeah,
It
I
has
think.
to happen. That will be a highly underrated match. Look at the frustration that Jay is dealing with, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but every time when them two are around, there's kind of a little smirk on Sammy's face, kind of like you're feeding into everything. So I'm gonna keep it going. And
So are you trying to say he's feeling oozy?
no, I'm with
Jay-
Jay. I'm not feeling Uzi. I'm
Jay and
just
Sammy could legitimately main event a pay-per-view that Roman's not fighting at.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm a little Uzi, a little Uzi.
That a short joke because you're small?
Well, it went over your head. It went over your head.
Anyhow.
Because I was trying to say something.
Al,
So-
what's your rating on the tag match?
4.75.
Alright. Now, the co-main event. Now, I know there's a few more things along the line here. But on the match card itself, it's the co-main event. Bianca versus Bailey. Last woman standing match. Scals, go.
I'm pulling out my notes for this one. So,
Oh, good.
this match was a really good match. It was probably the third best match on the card. There were some sloppy spots on it. I mean, but that tends to happen in a match that goes all over the arena.
Right.
I am just tired of Bianca winning and retaining the belt. Tired of it. How can you have her beat one? You just had her beat 3 people at the last pay-per-view. Then you had her beat 4 people on the last Monday Night Raw. And now you have her retain using heelish methods against Bayley in this match. This is the match that should have had the title change. There should not have been a flip-flop of the tag belts. There should not have been that happening. This is the match that needed to have the title change, and we need to see a new women's champion.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm only giving this match a 4.25 when it should be higher if there was if the right winner was crowned.
Okay.
So, with this match, I think as speaking completely unbiased, despite the ending, the match itself was fantastic. These two women are two of the best workers on the planet, male or female. They know each other. They have a great chemistry with each other. They bring the best out of each other. Bianca Belair has made a habit out of having the best match on any card she's on, or one of the best matches. That being said, the spots were really creative. I liked the rolling, like, what was the little crate that she put Bianca in. I thought that was a great plan. She got her hair stuck in it by accident though, which looked like it fucking hurt. I think the ending was really rough because I feel like Bayley should have been trying to do that to Bianca to win the match. I don't think Bianca should be trying to put Bayley in an inescapable situation to win the match. You know what I mean? That's a very heelish thing to do.
Right.
And the story being told would have worked better if Bayley did that to Bianca, because Bianca's this dominant baby face, like, who can't, she's a John Cena-like type, She overcomes the odds. She has to have them completely stacked against her in every way possible to even eat a pinfall of some kind or lose the match. So I feel like the ending should have been a perfect ending if it was flip-flopped and Bayley had Bianca in that ladder and won the match that way. That would have played up to Bayley's heel persona. That would have given her the title that she deserves right now, and it would have given a new edge to Bianca and hopefully a change in her character, so it's just not the same shit every single week with Bianca. I love Bianca Belair, but her title reign has gotten stale for me. That being said, match itself, I would say 4 out of 5.
All right. Cam, reading over your notes there, see?
I thought this match was incredible. I really did. I think this was the best. I don't think we've had a lot of them anyways, but I think this was the best last woman standing match we've ever seen. I mean, I loved how they used their environment. I mean, Bayley broke out the little stadium cart or whatever, trying to run over Bianca. Then Bianca had her holding onto the roof, and she was driving down the ramp. I thought that was amazing. Just like what Nate said, Bayley brought out the little crate or whatever, trying to trap her inside there.
Right.
Bayley stacked her inside some stairs and was hitting her with a kendo stick. It was just amazing. It was all over the place. The ending, I love the ending because Bianca just resorted to desperation. So she was just trying to win by any means, trying to keep Bayley down from getting up and reaching the 10 count. So I thought trapping her inside the ladder and putting it under the bottom rope was brilliant.
Right.
That reminded me of something like what Sami Zayn would have did back in the day when he was like the match magician. He kept using these unique ways to win matches or whatever. So I thought it was amazing. I love Bianca. I still don't really understand the whole John Cena comparison or whatever, but I mean, hey, I don't think her title reign is.
You don't understand the I'm sorry. You don't understand the comparison. She just beat 3 people in a match and made them look like jobbers.
I understand that, but
That's
don't.
it. She was Super Bianca, like how they used to call him Super Cena.
I just can't see it. I just
Ah,
don't.
you're blind in regards to that. Then I'm sorry.
Well, maybe I am. Maybe I'm just biased. I don't know. But I think
He even pulled out a double KOD like the double AA.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
this is the fun part about wrestling. The opinions are amazing. Everybody's got their own views, and I love it. Continue your thoughts.
So yeah, to give this match a rating, I say I give it a 5-5. 5 out of 5.
All right, Prince.
I enjoyed this match for what it was. I felt they both looked really great. The ending, you really saw the desperation with Bianca locking Bailey up in that ladder. And I felt like Bianca. See, this right here is what I gotta pick on. I felt like Bianca was better than that. I felt like she could have won that match without having to do that.
Right.
But you know what? Regardless, she won. That's cool. I think Bailey should have won, but I feel that there is going to be at least one more match with these two, honestly. And then Bailey wins that title.
See,
I really got that feeling.
Bailey's
I
lost
like your
twice,
point.
though.
But how do you book them into another match when Bailey can't get a one up on her?
You know what? The steel cage. You do a steel cage match. So that way there's nothing to stop them. It's just a straight up steel cage. Friggin' no DQ, obviously. Pinfall. Make it. You know what? Throw a little some weapons on the cage itself. Do
Oh, what's that match called? I know there's. Yeah, I know what you're talking
The
about.
Asylum match.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank. We could do something like that.
That was atrocious.
You could do weapons like a
I was
kendo
gonna say,
stick.
that's the Ambrose match.
We've done nothing but gimmicks with these two, though. There was the ladder match and a last man standing match. I mean, can't they just wrestle?
Maybe that's what it takes for Bailey to win. And
I mean, as
no
far as
interference.
wrestling goes,
If anybody interferes, Bianca's stripped of the title, or something along those lines, like that type of situation.
or like
Absolutely.
a free fall match.
Then she gets stripped of the title. If anyone interferes on Bailey's behalf, she loses the chance to go for the title.
I think if you're gonna do it that way, you got to do it a best of 7 series match.
Or we could do best of 5.
Well, you know what I mean, something along those lines where there's a reason to have it.
There was a best of 7, and that was what caused the bar.
Yep.
All right, Prince, your rating on this match, sir?
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
So, before I go into my thoughts, I'm going to agree with Prince as a 4 out of 5. I'm not going to compare Bianca to John Cena, even though I have. But I am tired, and absolutely tired. I love Bianca's body of work, don't get me wrong. But heel or face, make up your fucking mind where you're going with her. I can't keep doing this. She's got the heel tendencies. It's all there. And another thing that absolutely annoys the living shit out of me about Bianca, and I'm sorry if this pisses anybody off, but holy fuck, after she wins, she's like, I'm tired of the underdog gimmick, dude. Like, she's crying around that she won. I get it, you won, but stop. So, that's all I have to say about that match. I think it was good. Like, the body of work itself in the match, the golf cart, the trunk, all that was good. Loved every bit of it. I think those two utilized their environment well. Like Cam said, I love the steel steps angle. Like, I thought that was amazing. They went back and forth well. So
you read what I wrote, Nate?
saw that.
So we're gonna get into the Bray Wyatt segment, and I'm not gonna go in order here. So I want to hear Prince's thoughts because I know my thoughts, Nate's thoughts, Scal's thoughts, but Cam and Prince aren't huge on Wyatt, if you will. Like they're coming into the fold. So I'm interested to see your two opinions before we go into our opinions on it. So Prince, start us off.
Dude, oh my god, let me tell you. And the greatest thing about really not being a fan of. Alright, so I'm a fan of Bray Wyatt. I like what he does, but I'm not fully invested like a lot of people are. This shit is getting me so invested that I want more of this so bad. This has been going on so well. And we're finally seeing that amp up slowly. And what we got yesterday was a great start of that new level 2, level 3, whatever you want to call it. And this is a perfect way. So this is getting me more excited, and I just want to see more of this, see where we're going with this, how this is gonna end up. Are they gonna do the personality thing? Are they gonna interject his actual family into this? Because I do know him and Bo are training his sister to wrestle. So is this gonna be his personalities with the family coming in trying to bring Wyndham back into real life? You know, either way, this got me. I want to put all my attention on this because this is just. It's a blink and you miss it type of thing. You really want to stay focused from the start, middle to the end of this. It's friggin' amazing.
Right.
All right. How about you, Cam? Because I know me and you had this conversation, so I'm really curious your angle here.
Honestly, I mean, I think the whole Bray Wyatt thing from the start, since he came back, is kind of a head scratcher. But I'm not in a bad way, because you're curious to see every week, every show that he's a part of, where this is going to go. So for me, like even the thing on SmackDown when he had like this backstage promo again, and then he goes off on some production manager or whatever, and he's literally it's like. I think I told you this. I think, but it's like he's losing his mind, like slowly but surely. Like the dark side of his personality are just like causing his like paranoia. It's like causing his mind to just slowly but surely. So I'm liking where it's going. I have no idea where it's going, but I think that's the glory of it. We're kind of kept in the dark as to where it could go, possibilities. Is Wyatt Six a faction? Is it just his 6 personalities? Is he bringing his family in? We don't know, but each week, each time he's on something or part of something, we are invested into seeing.
Right.
So, yeah, it's very interesting angle, and I think right now Bray is even above, your typical heel or babyface or whatever, because or tweener or anti-hero or whatever you would call it.
He's in an aura of his own at this point.
Yeah, he's his own. He's his own thing right now. He's nothing right now. He's not a babyface or a heel. He's just his own self. And so wherever they take this angle, I think it's going to be the cherry on top to this whole storyline. So yeah, Bray is on probably just like Seth Rollins, who I believe is on his best run of his career right now. I think Bray is on the verge of his best work we've seen in WWE so far.
All right. Those solid opinions. Nate, how about you?
Well, I think it's pretty well known that Bray Wyatt is one of the best mic workers in the business. We knew this, so we kind of expected great promos from him, and he's delivered that tenfold. So the next question that everyone seemed to be having is, what is he going to do? What is he going to who's he going to feud with? Is he going to be put in the title picture? Something like that. Personally, I don't think he needs to. I think he needs to stay far away from the title picture. I think he needs to stay away from it completely. Doesn't even need to sniff the title picture, because he is above it. He is above the title. He doesn't need a belt around his waist to validate his work. He needs to just get this adulation from the fans that he gets every week. It's been over a month. He's getting welcome back chants every week. Every week he gets welcome back chants. Because he's connected with people in a way that just doesn't happen very often. You see it with Daniel Bryan. You see it with Kofi Kingston. You see it with Becky Lynch. But Bray Wyatt has a different kind of connection to them. It's like...
He's an artist. He's painting his own storyline.
He incorporates these things that are like a part of his psyche, a part of his mental health. He's been, he hasn't been shy about the fact that he's suffered from mental health issues, especially with passing of some of his friends the last couple of years. I do think this is about to be the best version of Bray Wyatt that we see, and I think we might see for the very first time a long-term feud with a person and himself. I think that's what this is going to end up being, is he's fighting his own inner demons, or whatever you want to call them. And I think it leads to a showdown between Bray Wyatt and somebody as The Fiend at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I've said that point a few times. Well, I'll go and I'll let Matt go last here. I thought the promo last night, yesterday, was absolutely... It played into the story so well. It's also the first time we all clearly understood the message that Uncle Howdy projected. Like, it was crystal clear this time. And I follow Bray a lot. I know Matt does. I've listened to tones on different promos throughout the years. Everybody's like, oh, well, Uncle Howdy is Bray. It's not. I don't care. If you listen to Taylor, a.k.a. Bo Dallas' voice...
I was just going to say, it's Bo.
He has the same range as Bray, but it's a little different. So you get you have people guessing, oh well, it's Bray. I truly think it's Taylor, and it has nothing to do with the earring, because literally that could just be placed there as whatever.
A red earring. Continue.
But when it comes down to it, this whole storyline that Bray is putting on, I've heard people say, oh well, Bray should face Roman because they're both red hot. No, because you can't book yourself that match and have it perfectly project. Okay, we'll have a reaction. Okay, let's say Bray wins. Yay, we're happy. Roman's not champion anymore. Cool, blah, blah, blah. But that just, it diminishes Roman's work, his body of work. You put Roman over Bray, that diminishes everything Bray's done since returning. Like, it's just, you can't book it. You just can't. They're both entities right now that are solid. You can't argue with either body of work. No matter how much you want to say you can, you just can't. And if you do that match, who do you have looking strong? Because you have to have one. Exactly. You can't book that match
They
to where
did
it
and Bray last time.
and that didn't turn out well, and we all made our voice heard on that one. But I don't know, in the entire 29 years that I've been watching wrestling, because I've been watching since I was 2. I don't remember a time where a wrestler feuded with himself and it'd be this intriguing.
Mm-mm.
I think the closest you could compare to the feud with himself would be Brian Pillman, and that's it. That's just, maybe Goldust, because Goldust is, yeah. But as Nate said, Bray is above the belts. He's Undertaker-esque when it comes to those championships. He doesn't need it. So I'm here for this long story. I've been avoiding pretty much everything I can when it comes to things about Bray, because I just want to focus on what's coming next. I don't want to skip ahead. I don't want to know anything. Matt, finish us out here.
I mean, just his aura that he gives off just shows how much he means to everybody within the company, as well as all of the fans. The promo last night, this was the first time you actually saw Bray with Uncle Howdy on the screen. Every other time...
Closer to being revealed.
Every other time the lights have gone out, Bray has disappeared, and all you saw was Uncle Howdy, and the show ended, and that was it. This is the one time you saw, as if you were watching almost from Bray's perspective, to listen to what Uncle Howdy is saying. And I think that's why it sounded like you were saying that it was crystal clear, because they wanted you to act like you were Bray Wyatt at that point, listening to what he was saying.
Right.
And I just think that it's gonna make the next couple weeks, with the build up all the way over the next couple months, that much more better. I don't think Bray will be wrestling for quite a while. If he does wrestle, the first time he probably would get into a ring and wrestle would either be the Royal Rumble or Mania. Scarlett, yes, Bray versus Brock would be a great build and could be a long feud, but Bray doesn't need anybody right now, like especially somebody that's on a higher level than him in regards to what they've done within the company. Brock has achieved so much. If you put him up against him and then Brock beats him, that's it. Like you don't need Bray to lose to anybody right now. And
No.
just look what
Unless
happened.
it's his own demons.
Just look what happened with Goldberg. Like everybody thought that match was going in and he was going to win, no issues. And then the Fiend lost to Goldberg, and it was the downfall of the Fiend. That would be the exact same thing to happen if Bray got into a match with anybody and he lost.
And so like picture this too. Bray Wyatt fighting his inner demons. Maybe he doesn't wrestle until WrestleMania, where he takes on one of these demons or whatever that are in his head. Bray Wyatt wins. Obviously, that's the obvious story that's told. Who could possibly be hotter after WrestleMania than that? Roman Reigns, if he goes against The Rock, is just going to beat The Rock. I don't think that does much for him at this point. I get
It just cements it. It just cements his legacy.
Right, and I get that. That's fine. But he doesn't come out of WrestleMania hotter than Bray Wyatt does. Bray Wyatt will be the hottest act in pro wrestling as he overcomes demons like that, because that's relatable to people and it connects with people. And I think it'll put him on an even higher level than he's at now.
Bray doesn't need to face Randy either. Like, look what happened last WrestleMania when that happened.
He lost to Randy Orton twice at WrestleMania. I don't want to see this again.
Bray just needs to focus on him right now. And that's the entire point of this story. Is he needs to fight all of his inner demons in order to be the best Bray Wyatt that he could be.
And for all we know, legitimately, this could be the last run that Wyndham Rotunda is on. We don't know.
Right.
I feel like he's coming back because he wants to sew up his legacy, and we could see him for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. We don't know. And if this is, I hope it's not, but if this is the end of Wyndham Rotunda in wrestling, he's going out on his terms and doing it his way. But that's beside the point.
If he does go out too, though, and like if his family does end up being a part of this storyline, I can see even if this is his last run, I would say I don't think he's just completely going out. He's gone, no traces of him at all. Because if he brings his family in, I think he's replenishing the storyline with having his family continue the story and then branching off and doing their own storylines as well. So I don't think he'll just be gone and then that's it.
A lot of people fail to realize, though, the Rotunda family is like the Rhodes, the McMahons of this company. It runs deep, like it, and the blood and the Samoan dynasty, like it runs deep. Not many people realize that.
Blackjack Mulligan, Barry Windham, IRS, you name it.
Right. And like last night, where Bray's like, "I want to be the best one above them all," and the crowd literally, "Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are." Like, it's not done. The story is far from over.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, We're talking about a promo more in depth than we've talked about any match yet.
Right.
Right.
So now
Yes.
it's time to
So
discuss. Go ahead, Nate.
I was gonna say before we dive into, I'll let you do the announcement. Before we dive into it, there's one thing that I want to say that might not be seen as a big thing on the surface, and this isn't really even wrestling related. It is societal. So the press conference, that crowd, the crowd in Saudi Arabia, where Sami Zayn is not allowed to go, was chanting for Sami Zayn. So, to me, that says this man, despite the fact that the government doesn't want him there, the people of that country want him there because they respect and they love what he's doing for pro wrestling and they push political shit aside. And that might not seem like a big thing on the surface, but a Saudi Arabian crowd chanting for a Syrian descendant is massive in the terms of
In today's culture, yeah.
yeah, in societal terms, that is massive. But anyways,
Anyway, yeah, that's a great point, and appreciate the press conference discussion there. But yeah, it's time now, and we are going to start with Matt on this for arguably one of the, well, no, not arguably, the greatest Crown Jewel main event we've had. So, Matt,
I did not have huge expectations for this match, even though
huge.
huge,
Donald Trump.
huge.
Oh, okay.
I did not have huge expectations because it's only Logan Paul's third match in the business.
Right.
Yes, Roman is top of the mountain. But for Logan Paul to put himself at that level with Roman and have the match that he had, suffering a torn ACL, a torn MCL, and possibly a torn meniscus in the middle of the match and finishing, this man needs to get his props and his due. Because what he did is more, I don't want to say heroic, but it's better than 90% of the athletes in professional sports would do. A lot of them would stop what they were doing, they would cry, they would complain, they would not even finish what they were scheduled to do. And he put on probably one of the best Roman Reigns matches we have seen in the last 6 to 9 months. I think the one match that would be close to this with Roman Reigns would be the one with Riddle.
Ooh.
I think that was the last one that would be like on this level. The one before that would be Rollins with the DQ. But I was so impressed with Logan Paul. I love the buckshot lariat, and I think that's where he injured himself. If you go back and watch it, that's where his knee, it looked like the way he hit.
he actually hit the back of his knee on the barricade outside the ring, and like I don't know if that spot happened before the buckshot lariat too. So I think that's where it happened, because after that was when I started noticing him, like as I went back and watched to try and see if I could find it. I think that's where it happened. He got like pushed into the barricade and his knee like straightened and buckled, and I think that's where it happened, which makes the buckshot lariat even more impressive.
So, Matt,
If that's where it happened.
I know you're ending up your notes here, boy.
Mhm.
I don't want anybody to say their final rating until everybody's spoken their opinion on the match.
Okay.
If that's cool with everybody.
Yeah.
Fine.
Finish off with it, Matt.
I loved the first person perspective on the frog splash with the camera. I love the fact that he turned in midair. He did the little slow-mo, and he did not drop the phone and hit a perfect frog splash onto the announce table.
I just feel like that's a society thing where we don't want to drop our phones these days.
I mean,
Keep going. Keep going.
he did that, and the phone didn't crack. Like the screen did not crack. I don't know. He must have like superior phones to everybody else, because I don't know how this phone would not crack on that.
I'm gonna go on a rant when it's my turn. So
But that's okay. If it's what you just read in there, I'm gonna let you
I'm gonna
go
go-
because you're
I'm
next.
gonna go off.
I'm not
I'm gonna go off.
I'm not gonna comment on that. But and then he did the Sweet Chin music, and that's because
Sweet Chin Big Boot. I'd call that, but yeah.
HBK was training him, and I feel like he actually said you can use it, and he was passing it along to him.
Or it's a respect thing because HBK trained him.
Well, there was rumors that HBK wanted a current wrestler to start using his move to keep it alive.
Fair
But-
enough.
I'm finished. I'll give my rating later. Nate, the floor is yours.
Oh boy.
All right.
What's happening?
All right. So if you follow me on TikTok, you know I've already had this discussion with people. What do you expect Logan Paul to do about a moveset when he's 3 matches into his career? That's my question to you. Do you expect him to just invent new moves that that don't exist? That's dangerous. That's dangerous for a wrestler who's been doing it for 20 years. You can't just do that. Every move you ever see in wrestling has been used by somebody else. The buckshot lariat was invented by Chris Kanyon. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yep.
Chris Kanyon is the guy who invented the buckshot lariat. And it wasn't a finishing move. It was just a buckshot lariat. It was called the slingshot lariat. Every move you ever see a wrestler do these days was done by somebody else first. The frog splash, Kevin Owens, Eddie Guerrero, I'm losing my mind. Rob Van Dam.
Rob Van Dam.
The Usos, Jimmy Snuka. Like, come on. Don't be stupid. Anyways. This match was absolutely incredible. I had high expectations for it because Logan Paul has proven not once, not twice, but now after this match 3 times, he belongs in this business. He was born for this business. I don't care what you say about anything about who he was before he became a pro wrestler. He was born to be a pro wrestler. This is the perfect place for him. I want to see him win a world championship at some point. It was not the right time yesterday.
He
I agree
respects
with
the
that.
business too.
He respects the hell out of the business. He's been playing a character for the last 10 years. I don't know if you guys realize that, but the person Logan Paul portrays himself online and on TV and in front of a camera is not the person Logan Paul really is. And if you want to bring up that Forrest thing, come to me because I'll drop kick you. Anyways, because we can talk about things pro wrestlers have done. We can talk about Stone Cold putting his wife in the hospital. We can talk about Jimmy Snuka and Lex Luger. And I'll leave it at that. You're right. I'm sorry. But the point is it's a stupid argument to make. It's a really stupid argument to make that he videotaped something a long time ago and put it on the internet, took it down and apologized when he was 20 years old. I don't want to hear it. Logan Paul was born for this. I want to see him main event a WrestleMania and win a world championship in the next 3 or 4 years. Please and thank you.
Apparently, the Undertaker's coming on the screen. I'm looking at Cam's background. Before Cam goes, and I don't want to cut you off here. I apologize, Nate, but that we could go really dark with that whole topic. So I apologize for cutting you off there.
You're good.
But
I made my
Cam,
point.
go ahead.
Well, Jesus, Nate, you put me in a shitty situation here. Having to follow that, but I don't have a whole lot more to add to this match. I think it was phenomenal. First and foremost, this proves that Logan Paul is an absolute superstar. I don't want to hear it. Haters, suck it. I don't care. It was fantastic. I mean, he's a superstar. His 3rd match in. The buckshot lariat was beautiful. I mean, he gave Hangman a run for his money. It was beautiful. He even hit a Superman punch.
It was better than CM Punk's.
I mean, come on.
Was it better than Punk's?
Like, it was amazing. Like, I have nothing else to add to it. I'm speechless. Logan Paul, superstar. Love him, hate him, doesn't matter. He's here to stay, and I'm looking to see more matches from Logan Paul for sure. So.
All right. Fair enough. Prince.
Yo,
Yeah, buddy.
Somebody. Fucking Logan Paul, let me tell you, this man is fucking phenomenal. He did in that match was friggin' amazing. This man has proven time and time again why he does belong in this business. And Nate, he should be world champion at one point. This man, regardless, has proven to me why I should back him up. And honestly, friggin', I'm happy with this match. The outcome was great. The match itself was friggin' fantastic. That buckshot lariat, forget about it. Fucking phenomenal. Yeah, buddy, holla back. Logan Paul is definitely really fantastic. As a celebrity coming in, as a YouTuber coming in, he did friggin' fantastic. You go back, just watch the training videos alone. The amount of hours that he's put in with Shawn Michaels training him. I mean, come on, this man is living proof of friggin'. If you put your all into it, if you bust your ass, you can make it. And you know what? Logan Paul is doing the best he can with what he got. And let me tell you, he may not be an actual wrestler, but the thing is, this man has proven every time he comes out why we acknowledge him just as much as we acknowledge an actual professional wrestler. For not being a professional wrestler, this man has been doing some great fucking things. And I'll tell you this, I will acknowledge and pay respect to Logan Paul, especially after yesterday. That match was friggin' fantastic. Holy shit.
Prince, I'm just gonna say this: he is a professional wrestler, 100%. But continue.
Absolutely.
You got anything else to say, Prince?
No. I really am happy with this match. I am.
Yeah, no. And feeding off everybody here, I'm going to say the one thing that nobody has mentioned out of the four of you. I'll get into Logan, but can we appreciate the fact that Roman actually wrestled a match for the first time in a while? Like, this man, he did work. Like, I'm used to seeing Roman do his Roman shit, but like, this reminded me of his like mid 2010 run where he was actually wrestling matches. Like, it was great. Like, Roman was involved, and I really enjoyed that.
He sold like a motherfucker.
He did. Like, it was amazing. Like, his facial expression, like, he was there for it. Also got to pay acknowledgement to The Miz. He helped bring Logan up to speed, if you will.
Yeah,
And
he did.
HBK as well. Shout out to whoever is working with Logan. He is an amateur wrestler, and he showed that last night. And I thought that was amazing. He had Roman going up. The spots in the match were amazing on both ends. They both carried that well. I enjoyed it. Very precise. We're going to talk about the buckshot lariat that everybody's mentioned. I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again today. Logan Paul's buckshot lariat looked fantastic. It was amazing. Now, everybody's like comparing it to Hangman. Hold on. Hangman does it with calculation and precision, where Logan did it with athleticism and precision. All right? Both look fantastic. Like Cam said, he gives Hangman a run for his money, and I agree. But like, you watch that lariat, Logan threw himself halfway across that ring to hit that. Hangman only comes over at a certain angle and then goes.
He didn't even take a step either. He like flipped and jumped. He didn't step.
Yeah, like
He jumped.
that's what I'm saying with the whole athleticism part, right?
Yeah.
To Matt's point, the table spot, fantastic. Every teen girl in the world was about to cry when Logan took off with that phone, though, I guarantee you. Because they're like, no, the phone. I watched this match with my two sons who are big Logan and Jake Paul fans. And obviously they acknowledge wrestling as they're wrestling fans as well. But my kids were like, that match left everybody in a... I've seen reactions to certain stuff. but holy shit, there was times in that match where you actually believed Logan was gonna win, and it was like, what is going on? Like, they suspended any belief that Roman was winning, and that's what I'm here for with this wrestling. I love how the Usos got involved because they didn't technically try to get involved. They just came down to check on Roman. Okay. And then they beat up Paul's boys, which was amazing. Thought that was great.
One of them went on Twitter afterwards. He's like, "How did I even get hit? Like, what did I do?"
You know they wanted to do that too. They're like,
Oh,
please
of course.
get out of us.
It was just good. That's good TV.
That is good TV.
I kind of was annoyed with Jake coming down. We knew it was going to happen. Unfortunately, we knew it was coming. Him coming out to Everyday Bro, his YouTube song, was fucking stupid, but I digress with that. I would have loved to see Solo throw a punch at him.
Yeah.
They're holding off on that.
I am going to critique Jake a little bit. His little jabs. Bro, you're supposed to be a professional boxer and you look that stupid? I'm sorry, no.
The Usos sold the fuck out of it, bro.
I know, but those punches were so pathetic, especially out of a professional boxer, bro. Come on. Expect a little bit more of a fucking jab. Pardon. Anyways.
Scott, listen, Logan is signed for 3 years, so he's staying. He's not going anywhere.
That match is great. Logan's on a track to be somewhere in the mid-card for a while, if not inches away from the main event. I mean, I love that they threw him into this pay-per-view. It got a lot of viewers that probably don't watch wrestling into it.
And what a show they were introduced to.
My thoughts are concluded. Prince, I want to start with you. What's your rating of the match?
I'm gonna give this a 7.
Okay. A 7 out of 5. That's a new one. New record. Cam?
I'm giving it 5. Great match.
5-5, okay. Nate?
So in terms of like enjoyability and pure main event feel, it's a 5 for me. In terms of the quality of wrestling, I'd say probably like a 4.75 because that Sweet Chin Music attempt looked pretty rough. But I think he just overthought the fact that it was going to be reversed. But yeah, I would say 4.75 overall, 4.75.
All right, Matt?
I'm in the same boat with Nate on this one.
I'm gonna give it a 4.8. So that's gonna conclude our review of each match and breaking down. I'm gonna give this show this will be out of 10, just so everybody's aware. I'm gonna give the show itself an 8.5 out of 10 because it has been the best Saudi show we've had. I'm only giving it 8.5 due to some results and some stupid, I don't want to say booking, so I'll say stupid creative. Matt?
Come back to me.
Okay. Nate?
I'm gonna give this pay-per-view a 9. I think the only match that really kind of brought anything down whatsoever was Omos and Braun, and even then, that match exceeded my expectations for it. So I mean, it's hard to fault the pay-per-view. The things holding it back were that match and Bayley not winning the championship.
Right.
Everything else, I had nothing to complain about.
Prince?
I'm gonna give it, with this being my first Saudi show, I'm gonna give this right now an 8 until I'm able to go back and finish the other ones.
Okay, that's fair. I'll go Cam. I was gonna go back to Matt.
I'm ready.
All right, Matt, you go.
Based off of some of the results, if the results went the way that I wanted it to, it probably would be a 9. But with the way they are, I'm giving it an 8.25.
All right. And Cam, to end out the show here for us.
With the Brock Bobby ending, the Omos and Braun Strowman match, and then of course the swapping of the women's tag team titles. I'm gonna give this show a 9.5 out of 10. It was a great show, definitely the best Crown Jewel Saudi show we've seen so far. So, just those three matches were kind of iffy on the ending decisions, if you will. So yeah, 9.5.
All right, guys, you heard our opinions, you heard our thoughts, you heard our ratings. Leave some comments on YouTube and wherever you want to leave your comments, leave them. We're here to listen. Prince, thank you for joining us for our prediction and review of Crown Jewel. Where can we find you?
You guys can find me on TikTok at ArkhamPrince88. Good comedy, good wrestling. Yeah, buddy, holla back. Woo, woo, what? Yeah, buddy.
And obviously now this is the four remaining in here that are chatting are off the top people. Our newest member would be Cam, our resident Nate, myself, and Matt. Cam, where can we find you?
You can find me on TikTok at Cam's Wrestling Corner. You can find me on Instagram at 317 Bacon Eggs and Cam. So yeah, also have a backup page on TikTok as well called Call Me Cam G. So yeah.
Where can we find the beard?
Wherever the beer goes, I'll go to.
All right. Nate.
I was gonna say something. So, if you want to come at me and you want to argue about Logan Paul and you want to talk to me, let's start a fight.
Yeah.
Come to my TikTok. We'll start a fight at Nate McNamara WB. If you want to see some really a bunch of grown men acting like idiots about how much we love pro wrestling, you can follow us at the Wrestle Bros on TikTok also. That's some positive, fun content. Me on my own, come fight with me. Let's go.
Matt, where can we find you?
So on Twitter we have Off the Top Pod with some underscores in between all the words. On YouTube you could just search for us now with Off the Top LLC. We got a handle on there, so now it's easier to find us. If you are checking us out on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. This way you get the notifications of when we drop the new videos.
Perfect. You can find me on TikTok at thatguyshadow.91. You can find me on Twitter at thatguyshadow91. You can also find Off the Top TikTok at Off the Top LLC. Thanks everyone. This was a great show. I thought we reviewed it pretty well in depthly. And I hope you all had a great weekend and enjoyed the show. Leave some thoughts. Catch you in the next one.
We hope to see you guys again soon.
Buddy.